Hello, Datathon 2025. We might maybe suck at basic algorithms. This is our project of public school bus crash reports. Welcome to the team. My name is William Lichny. People behind the scene, Brandon Torado, Melissa Parada Kinatoa, Lace Grant, and Quentin Phillips, all who did phenomenal work. Let's see a news report.
6 elementary school kids are recovering tonight after a scary ride home in Virginia Beach. Their school bus crashed with a car on Indian River Road and Military Highway late this afternoon. We're told they are all expected to be okay. Angelique.
Thankfully, everyone was okay, but I could not imagine being a parent and hearing about this report and being worried for my child. So let's look into these bus crashes a little bit more. Here's a little bit of a time series just to see our scale. On a normal non-COVID year, it seems we have about mid 200, high 200 crashes in a year. So we looked more into this using Virginia Open Data Portal. We were able to see number of crashes, how many of those crashes were preventable, how many injuries, how many fatalities, how many people getting injured coming on and off the bus. So we made a process. We decided to limit our scope of our time series from the 2021 to 2024 year as to see the post-COVID world. We also cleaned the data. We had to turn some strings into floats. That way we can make aggregate measures. We joined relevant data sets by division name. This is the city, the county metrics, and we'll get more into that later. Also removing some redundant rows. This made our analysis, our aggregate values, especially by those divisions, names, the cities and counties, and we created some visualizations using Tableau. First one that would stand out to a parent, how many injuries? You want to know that your child is safe on the bus. Danville had the highest number of injuries per bus. While Danville is a rather small city, for their bus fleet, they had a lot of injuries, followed by Portsmouth and Brunswick. Number of preventable crashes. Again, this is per the bus fleet, so we want to see who was ranking high in terms of how big their fleet was. It seems that Salem, per bus measure, very high preventable crash number. And these are only just the top 10, followed by Roanoke, Manassas Park. The first thing you think of, I could imagine, if your child gets into an accident by being on the bus, was the bus driver behind the wheel? Did they have proper qualifications? And we found data sets on the Virginia Open Data Portal that actually showed that not every hire is a qualified applicant, quote unquote. They don't have the bus driver qualifications. For example, for the 2023 to 2024 applicant pool, Salem hires, only 50% of them had these qualifications. This is very different than Danville that had 100%. Portsmouth, only 37% staffed around that 50% mark as well. This is alarming and surprising. So we did a simple correlation on this. We wanted to see if there was a positive relationship or a negative relationship. Do these applications, do these qualifications make a safer bus? And we did not find a correlation. This surprised us that there was not a correlation between having this qualification and making for a safer bus. So this is where further data analysis needs to be done and data collection, something we're not able to do, something that Virginia needs to do. We need to know how much these public schools are spending on their bus. We know how much they're spending per student, how much for bus safety, and we want to know more about these bus driver qualifications. Just because you have this qualification, does this mean that you're a safe driver? So while we can't look at that, we can look at case by case studies. Let's look at Salem. High preventable crashes did not rank the highest in injuries, but high in preventable crashes. Only 50% of the most recent applicant pool were actually qualified of they hired. They spend about $14,000 per student, relatively high for the Virginia area, but are minimal to increase it over the years. Meanwhile, Danville, very low on preventable crashes relative, very high on the injuries. They spend a lot per student, increase it a lot, and have high driver qualification. Well, 100% of their applicants were qualified drivers. This is kind of surprising. Maybe sometimes these high injuries crashes, maybe it's bad luck. Maybe it's something outside of the school, something more infrastructure wise that needs to be looked at. This is where we need more data analysis. We want to know more about the crashes. Make the crash reports look similar to the Virginia highway crash reports with hundreds of columns of context. We also want to see more information about the driver qualification metric. Thank you for your time. We hope that this brings to action thoughts about safety of our school children. And these are our sources. Thank you very much for your time.